It is official. I am being sued by Ethan Klein.
It's also a dark day for Ethan Klein. Yeah, so it is in the Alberta courts. I don't know if that'll factor in. Yeah, neither do I. But I guess what we do know is that, well, let's just get into it. Let's check out the statement first. We have enough people in. We have a crazy amount of people for just starting. I don't know why he chose Calgary. Had to been like a strategic decision, or because he has to use people who are on the, license to practice in Canada. So it's not going to be Rombard and Nassim, I would assume. So let's just check out the statement. We'll see what Ian has to say about this. He already said he found Canadian lawyers when he first threatened it. Hey, Calgary is richer, probably more law firms to choose from. But as far as streams go, it was about a 2-minute stream. And
oh, there we go. Oh, all right. We have a decent amount of people in here. It is official. I am being sued by Ethan Klein in the courts of Calgary, Alberta for defamation. I do plan on fighting against this, but for now it is in the hands of the courts and our attorneys. I will say that it worries me what it means for the commentary community, and especially the Canadian commentary community. But this is about all I can say, at least for now. I'm sorry that the stream is so short. I wish I could give you a lot more grease, but I will resume the regularly scheduled content on Thursday. Again, I'm sorry it's so short, but we will be back, and I appreciate you being here for this important announcement. Have a good day, everyone.
The good thing is that what I perceive to be the good thing is that he seems to be, I mean, he was smiling a little bit. He didn't seem to be overly, like he didn't seem, I don't know, I would have expected it to be a little bit more downtrodden, if you will, if it was, Now what we do know is that Ian has he made a lot of revenue from his YouTube channel in his life. Without speculating too much. He has built up a lot of, his 7 million subscriber channel. He still pulls in decent amounts of views, and that's not even counting all of his other videos. So I guess what I'm saying is that you'd be surprised how much revenue you still will make from and he's a smart guy. I mean, Ian's a smart guy. Now I do still feel terrible for him. It's going to be, even if he isn't hurting, it's still just going to be a gigantic waste of money. And it also, like he said, he's worried for what this means for the commentary community, right? He's touching on one of the most important things of all of this. Like, of course, we feel bad for Ian, but what is Ethan's objective with all of this? It's to silence his critics, right? But I feel like something that a lot of people aren't talking about for whatever reason, because it seems like one of the most important aspects of all of this is something called legal precedent or case law, which is that in the future, say 5 years from now, after this court case is over and Ethan gets his way and he gets a win, without speculating too much, I don't think he will. But if he does get a win, this case law, especially for Canadians, can be referred back, or only for Canadians, can be referred back to in a future case. If somebody else with way too much money and a lot of insecurities wants to sue somebody for a similar thing, for defamation, they can refer back to Ethan's case and say, well, look what happened last time. And the scariest thing, which we want to be optimistic, right? We want to say that, there's no chance, because we're going to look at what the charges that Ethan is levying at Ian. We're gonna look at what he's charged Ian with. Seems like bullshit without speculating, but if it does go through, that means that the threshold for what you can be sued for in the future regarding this is even lower, which presents a much bigger problem than if it was just like, okay, well, maybe he bordered on the line of saying something defamatory. Hey, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow, Keo Tonight and Leftist Nightmare. Appreciate the follow, guys. You'd be able to be sued just for showing what someone else said, even if you say you don't agree with it. That's exactly right. Now it looks like Angel has a couple of links in the chat. He feels Ethan Klein reveals he sent iDubbbz a legal threat. Sorry, let me just go back and collect these links before I switch over. Give me 2 seconds. Appreciate you guys being patient. And yeah, Dyslexic Dumbbell, as of right now, That is everybody's understanding, is that it is for what we're about to show right now on stream. Now, it should not be ignored the fact that this is the fifth rather. This is the fifth case, 5 cases that we're looking at right now that all threaten fair use or commentary or criticism. This is 5 cases now that Ethan has levied against creators with a smaller viewership for criticizing him. This just happens to be, from the layman's perspective, the weakest one yet and the most ridiculous one yet, right? But the fact remains that this is it's changing commentary forever, because one, you do have the obvious thing that, okay, somebody's being litigious and they're suing a bunch of people for what would be considered copyright for the, normally. However, the fact that YouTube in general, or creators in general, are getting richer and richer and richer. I mean, this is probably, it is. It's the richest that creators have ever been online. It is, for some reason, being accepted, or at least not talked about, or not given the attention that it deserves by almost any creator in the commentary space. If we're talking about like Hassan or something, we don't expect him. I mean, he does it. It's not something that he usually gets involved in. He's been talking about it a little bit lately, but nobody is talking about it, and it's becoming more and more somehow normalized. I mean, the same people who were donating and supporting Ethan Klein back in 2017 when he got 17 when he got sued by Matt Haas are completely dead silent, but these appear to be more egregious, again, from a layman's perspective. Anyway, so let's check out the what Ethan has been saying about iDubbbz.
It was a good time.
So let me tell you a little story. The second iDubbbz stopped talking about us happened to coincide when I took into my service some fine Canadian lawyers. That's right.
What's up, Baloney?
Lawyers that specialize in defamation. And by the way, I really don't think that's okay.
Thank you for the subscription.
Some fine Canadian defamation lawyers that sent a
What did he say here? I apologize.
thing to put out. Some fine Canadian defamation lawyers that sent a letter to Anissa and Ian demanding a retraction and a halting of the defamatory statement.
Which, to be clear, was issued by Ian. He did get on stream, apologize, and retract his statement regarding... Let's back up. There was no statement by by Ian to the effect that Ethan is portraying there to be. There was no statement on behalf of Ian to the effect that Ethan is portraying it to be. I just want to make that abundantly clear. I hope it makes this ghoul nervous that he's suing someone who didn't respond by immediately starting a fundraiser. He thinks Ian is broke and he's wrong. Whoa, that's a good point. Didn't he make a whole website about someone that sued him? I mean, something that you have to take at this point with Ethan is that he's big about pointing fingers, but there's a saying that there's always a clip, and that applies to most of his actions, not just clips. There's always a clip of Ethan doing something that, I'm being a bit hyperbolic, but there's almost always a clip that points to the direction of, well, Ethan probably did some shit too. I think defamation counts on the technical terms. Scorched Lagoon published the statement by showing on stream. Right. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but is it from my understanding, the qualification? Oh God, I'm way behind on my subscriber goal. I should update that. But I think when somebody's talking about defamation, it's usually somebody alleged or accused or stated as fact an accusation about somebody doing something, right? That they don't. Hey, thank you for the subscription, Luwoofy. I gotta update my subscriber goal. Has to prove malice. He has to prove the simple fact of the matter. If we can, if I can pull that clip, or if somebody has it on hand, and we'll finish this one first. And actually, I might have that in my saved. Of what the actual clip is, or maybe we already have it loaded up, but we'll see.
Of the defamatory statements that I molest my children. And the day after that, the Scorched Lagoon was slain like smog. There was only one skill shown, and it was the threat of a lawsuit.
I think it should be, I think it's good context that Ethan Klein is beefing with a $3 avatar of a dragon. Just want to point that out. I think it's relevant knowledge that should be should be known. And I'm sorry, mods. I know that we have a lot of Scorch Lagoon English major, by the way. I'm sorry, mods, if it is getting stressful. I don't know who's in here, or I mean, you know, everybody's welcome here. Obviously, I just don't know if there's any H3 goobers running around in here. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I peeped in Ian's Discord. Wait, what? What? You're scaring me. Sleepy just joined his server and is chatting. Ew, that's funny. Sleepy is here is being widely accepted. Now, maybe not widely accepted, but he's being more and more. I don't know if anybody here knows who he is. Sleepy is here is being more and more accepted. I'm not going to try to fight it. I'm not going to try to protest Sleepy is here being accepted by the anti-Ethan community, but he has made a few pretty racist. I mean, he, you know, says the N-word, which, you know, not to woke scold, but I do think it demonstrates a certain disinterest in certain racial issues at the very least. Thank you so much for the subscription, Hummingbird Uwu. Thank you for the follow, Katie Kaboom. Folks, if you want to subscribe, if you have the Prime laying around, or if you want to do the, I think we're actually on sale at the moment, but you do get a little avatar that runs around at the bottom of the screen, as you can see here. Thank you for the cheer. Or if you want, you can also request a song, and there's going to be a link floating around at some point. If you want to request a song, you get that with your subscription. With the avatars, you have several hundreds of avatars to pick from several different franchises, like Animal Crossing, Tamagotchi, Pokemon, the real world, animals, Gundam, so on and so forth. So let's continue. And that's the, yeah, thank you. That is the link right here for if you want to request a
good time.
song.
So let me tell you a little story.
We just watched this. Whoops. Gleefully announces Ethan Klein reveals he sent a legal. Did we just watch this? Reveals he sent iDubbbz. Oh yeah. Oops. So this is him announcing that he sent a legal threat to iDubbbz. He follows this up later with.
We sent him a letter saying like, "Hey, you got to stop because the damages are just mounting up," and they desperately stopped. Right.
They desperately stopped. I've already stated that he's beefing with the fucking dragon, right? That's one part of it. The other part is that I want to just reiterate for anybody who's new here, Ian has not made any allegations, accusations, statements to support the accusations that Ethan is alleging. What Ethan is alleging is that iDubbbz was responsible for a claim that Destiny said, saying that Ethan Klein, can I say this? I don't know. So Destiny said Ethan Klein is something to the effect that he molests very heinous shit. I'll be clear. What Destiny said was disgusting, not true. A wild, harmful accusation, 100%. But iDubbbz never stood by that or supported that claim or aligned with it in any capacity. In fact, he quite literally said it's not true.
And they got a lawyer, and now we're just talking. I don't want to give away the details of our settlement because I'm way above that. Right, Dan?
You're above giving details of the settlement?
I respect the Canadian legal system with the utmost care and respect.
I see.
And
you're not supposed to share any details, is what?
I would never. The Crown would never.
You usually share everything, so that doesn't sound right at all.
I respect the Crown.
Okay, so it sounds like because you're not allowed to.
Not allowed to is one thing, but I just respect the Crown.
Okay, got it.
But I will say that I think I'm going to do it, right? Because the damages, right, to my reputation are terrible. I feel terribly damaged.
It's like one of the I guess most infuriating things about how he carries himself, Ethan Klein, how he carries himself, Lawolfie. I didn't even know I had that avatar. That's a very cute avatar. Is the fact that he is openly, you know, I mean, maybe he's serious. To me, it sounds like he's being sarcastic. I feel terribly damaged. The damages. Think of the human. He sounds sarcastic. I don't know. I mean, he sounds like he doesn't believe what he's saying. Chatter03 says Destiny also admitted actual malice. Did it more than once, something required to sue for defamation in the US, yet Ethan said what Destiny did was fine because he retracted it, according to Ethan. It's all team sports, it doesn't matter. When you have money like that, I mean, I always say Ethan Klein is like if you give a 12-year-old $100 million and a lawyer and set him loose on the world. He's doing stuff for fun at this point, or for, you know, the weird thing is that this isn't going to help his reputation. He's going to be seen as somebody who, you know, if anybody scrutinizes this case at all they're going to see, the clip that we're actually talking about, what's being claimed as defamation. Izzo Star said, I think it doesn't matter in Canadian law. So maybe it's different. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but it just sounds like complete bullshit. I don't know. On top of all this, Tamara's clip. Tamara is saying more crazy things than Ian. Tamara, one of the producers on the podcast, whatever her role is. Let's finish this clip. Ethan Klein. You said, Izzo, you think it doesn't matter in Canadian law. So are you? Is the threshold that he just has to display the claim? Haley, what's up? No, Tamara didn't quit. Not that I'm aware of.
And there's actually such a crazy, funny thing about the Canadian thing too, because he moved to Canada. I learned you can't even crowdfund.
And then again, admitting the true motives for this case, it is financial strain is it seems what his true motivation is for doing this. Now, he does have a pattern of citing specifically damaging the human involved with it, like, inflicting some sort of a pain on the person that he's suing. It's sort of been a pattern among all of these lawsuits, is saying, I'm going to legally annihilate you. I'm going to, well, we can actually look at some previous examples if I can pull them up real quick. And then after this, we have Ethan showing the actual clip, that he's suing over on stream, which even then, I mean, it's tenuous at best. I'm not a Canadian, I'm not a lawyer. I'm a layman, and I'm also kind of an idiot. So, I could be completely wrong.
Last night.
How
this one's quite interesting, to be honest.
First of all, how embarrassing to just even admit that you spend so much.
No, I think what's embarrassing is being as rich, as accomplished as Ethan Klein is, and beefing with this person. Like, you're saying that it's embarrassing that he's doing this. Is it not embarrassing that you are, you could be living in fucking Cabo. You could be doing whatever. You could be doing vacations every other week. You could live at Disneyland if you want for the rest of your life with the money that you've accumulated. You could be doing anything else. Why subject yourself to this constantly? Ethan is just working on his vexatious litigant title. Hopefully it'll cost him down the road. One thing that I've heard about, like, Canadian law specifically, or sorry, not Canadian law, Californian law, is that, or in a lot of places, that it's pretty difficult to prove. Hey, thank you for the follow imposter. Pretty difficult to prove vexatious litigant, or for it to, like, what the threshold is. But again, I don't know. Somebody was talking about 5 losses, or 5 quote unquote frivolous lawsuits, which again is very difficult to prove. I don't know whether these constitute as frivolous or not. Anyway, let's continue the clip.
Admit that you spend so much time on a snark subreddit, even if it's someone you despise. Mm-hmm. You're like, I'm on this snark subreddit all day.
Something of note, this comes very shortly after the allegations that Ethan Klein was browsing iDubbbz snark subreddit, which, if true, he was browsing. The allegations are that he was browsing it at not even at a poker tournament, but during thank you for the follow, One Piece Satan, during a poker tournament, in the action, in the process of playing. Whoa, 520 followers. Look at that. That's crazy. In the process of playing poker, people are saying, hey, you're on a snark subreddit while you're playing poker. That's kind of crazy. That's what people are saying. However, it was kind of a blurry thing. People are saying, there wasn't any subreddit name. It was just the name of a user, which only shows up when you're browsing the actual subreddit. So if true, it's just ironic. All of this comes after people were saying, why were you looking at pictures of Anissa at a poker tournament in the middle of playing? It comes after he called this lady a prostitute. She turned out to be a millionaire. So it came after a very embarrassing, I would be embarrassed if this happened to me, rather. It came after a very eventful weekend or week for Ethan. So people are saying that maybe he's embarrassed, maybe he's doing this out of a get back sort of thing.
So this a lot of people thought was a little too much even for him.
I read this last night, and I said, this seems like something someone might want to address.
So it says, quick daily reminder that Ethan from age 3 is likely a pedophile who has molested his own children. It's a comment. Funny. Everybody's laughing. How funny and cool. And by the way, this is a guy I used to be friends with in real life who's met my family and stuff. Like, there are certain things you don't joke about.
And this also falls flat what he's saying here. I used to be friends with iDubbbz. It's weird how he's not talking about who said it, like who sent this message. He hasn't referenced that yet. I couldn't tell you why. It would seem that would be something that you would bring up, like, oh, who sent this message? Who is the responsible for saying this thing? Because it's not Ian. Who is it? I lost my train of thought. Oh, he says I used to be friends with him. Ethan used to be friends with Hassan. He's made jokes about Kaya being sexually abused, Kaya the dog. So it's like, like what's the bar here? Again, always a clip.
And that's kind of why this whole mess started, is because of what Denham said, why CPS came to my house, and you fucking encouraged it. So, like, where in your empathy journey did you decide it was okay to affect my children, not just online and say like I molest them, which is just not like what's funny about that.
He didn't. It's like he's living in a different plane of existence. He names Denham's here. He connects it somehow. Like what's happening in this man's brain is that like it's become like an amorphous blob of like accusations and dramas and beefs and like and then he just starts pulling in from like, I don't know, it's like everybody who's ever affected him in his life, they just become part of a giant snark machine that is like overarching and wants to anti-Semitically hurt him or something. I don't know. Everyone that criticizes him did CPS in his mind. It's almost like, you're talking to like a guy on the corner in a downtown area, and he starts talking to you at like 1 a.m. when you're coming out of a bar, and he just starts like saying like, there's the CIA and they put some in my tooth, and the Donald Trump and George Washington and in the hospital, and some local hospital did it. It's like it's he thought we were always helping each other. Back in the day, no one spoke none of us talked over. Wasn't her required to like apologize to her on air? Yeah, there was like something to that effect. I believe she submitted some sort of illegal filing, and he had to retract a statement that he had said. Imagine being so willing to ruin fair use, the precedent you helped set, because you can't handle criticism. Yeah, it's strange. Makes you wonder if he ever like believed in fair use or like criticism, or if he ever believed in any of it, because he spent a long time marketing himself as a free speech absolutist, something to that effect. He spent a long time suggesting that that's what that is what is paramount to him, is being able to speak freely and do whatever you want on YouTube, because that's how he was affected, and he wants to look out for the little guy.
But where CPS is actually coming to my house and interviewing them, I mean, where is that on the empathy scale? Not sure. Just online and say like I molest them, which is
he did not. Like that's the crazy thing. He's in this entire clip, and there might be context outside of this where this got clip chimped or something, but in this entire 1 minute and 35 seconds where he starts reading this message and when he gets to the end of it and moves on from the topic of this statement, at least in this clip, he does not say Destiny's name, which is confusing, because like that's not the guy. And then he says, saying that I molest my kids, but he didn't. But Ian did not say that, though. He's not responsible for this statement. So like, what could, even if this is this is viable in a Canadian court, something this ridiculous, even if it does not make it right. I mean, how many times we got people sitting in, it says in the same thing, it's a very different level. We have people sitting in prison for life for like a gram of weed. So the justice system is not something that you can rely on for moral clarity, like moral guidance, right? The fact that you're able to do it does not translate directly to whether it is moral. The fact that he is pursuing something this tangential from Ian is it's a wanton disregard. A wanton disregard for freedom of expression, for being able to talk how you want without some rich asshole trying to ruin your entire life over it. It's exactly what happened to him. Can you imagine the things that he said? Look at the guy who did the Rebecca Black's Friday, right? He actually said that he made awful jokes, racist jokes about him, like raping an 8-year-old, and you have somebody showing something somebody else said, and you're saying, how could you do this?
I molest them, which is just not like what's funny. Just online and say like I molest them, which is just not like what's funny about that. But where CPS is actually coming to my house and interviewing them, I mean, where is that in the empathy scale? Not sure.
What in the world is that? It says
And then he places blame on Ian for CPS, which again, it doesn't line up. It doesn't make any sense. Destiny said that Ethan sued Destiny. No, he doesn't. It doesn't. Why would he do that? That doesn't make any sense, right? Destiny said it, admitting he knew it wasn't true. Destiny said that he knew that it wasn't true, and he said it anyway. It's
Lots of shitting on
I hope CPS takes his kids. I'll say it. I do. And I hope they cry about it. And then CPS come for my kid. And then CPS can take Dan's kids. And you know what? All of our children at the end of the day will just be fostered by Child Protective Services. Okay?
Hey, thank you for the follow, Alice.
And then we can all relieve ourselves. He's just going to be a rehash of every other fucking video made. God, it's so crazy how this fucking retard, as he's spamming on Instagram and coughing and dying of whatever diseases he has, is telling me like, oh, Destiny, I used to like you so much and you need help and blah, blah, blah. It's like the exact shit that Assad was doing to him. Good memes.
And it's like interesting. He's tying this statement that Destiny made to Ian, and then he's tying the fact that CPS came to visit him to Ian as like these horrible things, which Ian had never. And he has values. He would never say these things. And then you have the person responsible for these things being said about you, and you don't even come after him. Forget about legally. He hasn't even come after him and like socially on stream. He hasn't called him out. He hasn't come after Destiny about this at all. You want to be pedantic about it? It's Destiny's accusation even completely definitive? He said likely. Right, yeah. The constant slurs of this guy. Destiny also said his followers should call CPS, and calling CPS was a good thing as the concern is legitimate. But that's the thing with lawsuits though, Keo. Keo says, if this gets taken seriously by a court, I'm just going to be so confused. It doesn't really have to, like, for it to have sort of the intended effect that I assume Ethan wants, because like he knows that this is a very precarious, it's like a hyper primed accusation. Like he jumped somehow from Destiny saying it to Ian being responsible for it. He can still drag him through court. I mean, he can still cost him a ton of money, I believe, in the Canadian courts anyway. I mean, it seems like the lawsuit it's being taken seriously. Even if he doesn't have a case, I mean, it can still cost the person, an unwilling participant. It can still cost them. There's no process for, no, I don't want this. I didn't like, there's no review process before the person has to start hiring lawyers to fight it. Yeah, it seems like a terrible system. But how could Ian be responsible for CPS when Ethan's round of attacking Ian was over them not defending the clients for being good parents? But he still blames Ian for it. He's lied so much and perverted the facts in his own mind. Everyone did CPS. It has changed. Like the person who's coming after for being responsible or for cheering on or for not calling out CPS has bounced from a couple of people to where it's like everybody is his enemy. And it's sort of like the crazy ex-girlfriend, not to, whatever. I don't know if that's like misogynistic or whatever, but it's like the crazy ex-girlfriend thing where they say, or boyfriend, equal rights, or partner, sorry, anyway, where it's like, if all of your exes are crazy, maybe you gotta look inward. I don't know, maybe there's another. I wish Ian and Anissa could get a restraining order on him. I mean, it almost feels like that wouldn't do anything to stop him from being able to sue them, I don't, bro, please just use one more lane, bro. It'll be different this time, bro. It isn't induced demand is different. This will not give you anxiety. Just try it. I swear, bro. Just please. And we haven't even talked about the fact that these lawsuits are not going to fix your public image. You're not going to be favored by the general public anymore. You're going to, even your own fans are tired of this shit. They hate it. His own fans are like, can we please just get back to the fun podcast? It used to be fun. We used to have fun. It used to be this and that. Now the sole focus is Ethan's enemies, and of course people hate that. Who would like that? It's boring. I mean, it's not even boring. It's stressful. It's just like, oh God, I gotta get off of work and I just want to have some fun, and it's just like, it's like you're not going to gain any new fans. There's not that big of an audience for people who hate iDubbbz with the burning passion that they want to see him destroyed for something that he didn't say. In fact, people who don't like him are going to be like, that doesn't seem good, because the next person who gets insecure enough about their about something that somebody may have or maybe not have said about them they're going to be able to sue him, and people will be afraid to say anything. This is Kino Casinos and Diorio's Easy Out. This lawsuit is incredibly unpopular. Well, it sounds like Kino Casino already not hates, but they're already turning on Ethan. Imagine thinking Grifter with a mic and Bacon blackface are more entertaining. A lot of people actually think that for some reason. Let's be real, as current fans don't want it to go back to fun times. They want this stuff. You know, I mean, the fun in question. So this just came out, and like, this is more of a charge against Ian. Sorry, this is more of a charge against Ethan, I would say, than Ian even came close to. Ian said that maybe instead of focusing on these pro-Palestinian or pro-Palestine women, maybe it would be good to take a look at what Destiny said about you and address that, maybe call him out for that. That's all that Ian said. Here we have Tamara, I guess yesterday, maybe a week, I don't know exactly when this happened, but this is her on Ethan Klein, her boss.
If Ethan was talking about this right now, he'd find a way to bring up molesting children. And I say that with so much love to him.
But why do you say that with love? Why would you ever say that with love? It seems like a bad thing. I don't know. I've never like wanted to bring up child molestation. This whole workplace is insane. It's like, why would you want that? I was about to go on, but I don't think I have to. Why would you want that?
If Ethan was talking about this right now, he'd find a way to bring up molesting children. And I say that with so much love to him. I shouldn't have said that. But he probably would. And he would find a way to say it. Don't question why I would say that. I was just sharing what I was thinking.
It's like, it's being, people have talked about that a lot. They're like, why do you keep on talking about like why do you keep on making jokes about this? Like, I get it. Like, it's like it's shock jock humor, you know, like people say crazy shit for the joke. A lot of times people try to work it into a bit and it's like funny because of that. But when it's just like, they were talking about Snarf, or I don't know, there's this cat character from a cartoon. Does anybody know who I'm talking about? Snarf. And yeah, Snarf. And he randomly says, does he fuck kids? And I'm just like, why do you talk? Where'd that even like come up? Like, why? I don't know why you would, I don't know why your mind would jump to that. And it really just signifies like an inability to be funny because you're relying on shock jock humor, which many times just falls flat. But when, you know, his critics talk about that, people are like, wait, it's just a joke. Like, what are you talking about? When he talked about Jesus Christ being a pedophile, it got, you know, it didn't fit. It didn't make sense. It was just kind of out of nowhere. And so, or I think St. Patrick as well, he talked about that. St. Patrick from St. Patrick's Day fame. So, you know, his critics talk about that and people are like, oh, you're crazy. He's just making a joke, whatever. It's just humor. It's comedy. And he doesn't even do it that much. I mean, he says, I don't make pedophile jokes that much with Cruel World Happy Mind Madison. She brought that up and he was like, no, I don't. Do I do that? And it's like your own employees who like you say that. So it's not just us. He brought it up to Reckless Ben. Snarf, real name Osbert, is the iconic feline-like sidekick in Nursemaid to Lion-O. In the Thundercats franchise, originating as an intelligent creature from the planet of Snarfs, he's best known for his protective nature, worrying personality, and signature snarf catchphrase. Sounds fun.
I was thinking. And I hope Ethan did not see this. So, but am I wrong?
No, not really. Not really. I mean, he's obsessed with inappropriate jokes. The one time he went outside, he called a woman a prostitute for wearing a dress. I don't even really think, I mean, that wasn't even a joke, was it? He was like, oh, well, you know, the dress that she's wearing and and that she's in Las Vegas, so she must be a sex worker. You know, didn't seem like a joke. So we should look at what Ian actually said, and why it doesn't seem like it has any merit to it. If you will hold, please. I gotta find that. Okay, Reddit changed. I don't know how to find it. How do you find saved now? Not showing up. Dude, why do they keep on changing the UI? That's like super annoying. What the fuck is this?
It is official.
About Reddit advertise. I can't find my saved posts. Is that not a thing anymore? What is happening? Settings? No, dude, what the fuck? Boomer meme a moment. You find your saved posts on your profile now? I'm there, but it's not. Sorry, guys. It's literally not showing up. It's nowhere. Thank you, Angel. I guess I'm not able to find my saved posts. Here's the, here's that same stream Here is Ian explicitly saying, and I guess this doesn't matter. I don't know. Somebody was saying in chat, it doesn't matter in Canada.
It's okay. So I do want to say I don't agree with what's being said in this comment here, but I'm putting it on screen because I think it should be addressed because it's a big, bold accusation that's very fucked up.
Very fucked up. So like, what is the law in Canada for defamation?
Very fucked up. And
I don't know if it's the same on desktop. Could it be? I know it changed recently on the phone too. So we just have this is off of a Google search. I don't know how reliable this information is. I don't know if it applies differently in different states, but a defamation claim, defamation cause of action in Canada is very similar to the UK. The key distinction in the UK is requirement of quote serious harm. In Canada, you need to prove that any statement complained of is defamatory, identifies or refers to you, and was published to at least one person other than the plaintiff. Oh, my dictionary isn't on anymore. And so when we look up defamatory, I don't, if it's different in Canadian law, Canadian defamation law, a common law defamation refers to any communication that tends to lower the reputation of the subject in the minds of ordinary members to the public. In particular, to establish prima facie defamation, the plaintiff needs to establish three things. The material is defamatory, as in it lowers the reputation of the plaintiff in the eyes of the right-thinking person. The material refers to the plaintiff, and the material is communicated to one person other than the claimant, plaintiff. Fair comment refers to any opinion fairly made on a matter of public interest. The onus is on the person raising the defense to establish that the defamatory material constituted a statement of opinion rather than fact. To establish the comment was fair, the defendant must also prove on an objective basis that the defamatory opinion was one which a person could have honestly expressed based on the proven facts. Oh, you sent it to me. I'm sorry. Thank you, Chaos. In fact, broadcasting means transmission, emission, or reception of to the general. This is so small. Broadcasting means a transmission, emission, or reception to the general public of signs, signals, writing, images, sounds, or intelligence of any nature by means of electromagnetic waves of frequencies lower than 3,000 gigahertz. What the fuck? Oh, this is broadcasting. What the fuck? It means libel or slander. Newspaper means a paper containing news. True. Public meeting, lawfully held in good faith or lawful purpose for the furtherance of discussion. An action lies for defamation. When a defamation is proved, damage shall be presumed. The plaintiff may allege that the matter complained of was used in a defamatory sense, specifying the defamatory sense without alleging how the matter was used in that sense. Specifying the defamatory sense without alleging how the matter was used in that sense. The pleading shall be put in issue, the pleading would be in, shall be put in issue by the denial of the alleged defamation. And if the matter is set out with or without the alleged meaning, shows a cause of action, the pleading is sufficient. 6-7 viewers. You guys, I'm feeling pretty 6-7 right now. Okay. Section 9 is defense of the comment. I mean, Ian said he didn't agree with it. I don't think this will fly. People broadcast things that they don't endorse all the time. And it needs to be known that there are two separate interests. There are two separate matters here. Whether or not it is going to, what we're trying to figure out right now is like how this could possibly fly in a court. But that's a completely separate issue to the fact that it's wrong, I guess, to put it bluntly, that it is a wrong thing to do. It is a wrong-headed action to do. Just in the general public, amongst people who like being able to say whatever the fuck they want, which is most people, it is a wrong-headed action. If you could only broadcast what you agree with, the news wouldn't exist. Canadian news is always showing statements that they don't agree with because someone like Trump said them. It's not a crime here. Yeah, he never like stood by the statement. But I mean, we know that this is not he's not doing this in the interest of self-defense. That's not why he's doing this. I mean, we've seen a number of times, and we'll just show like one of the instances right here.
That it was actually the mods, because that would just, but the fact that it was one of the mods and that they all knew about it is really.
This is Ethan Klein referring to the snark moderators that he's currently trying to pull the information from.
Fucking something.
Yeah.
And this is to illustrate that I don't believe that he's doing this in the interest of self-defense or recovering damages to his person or his public image.
That really is.
So I think not only did they violate civil laws and defaming me, they may have also violated criminal laws. And
it is unclear whether he is pulling this from like ChatGPT, whether he's told this by his lawyer and that's why he's repeating it now. But he's talking with much more sense for law than he normally does, whether or not it is actually sense of law. But in his mind, he's speaking with much more of a understanding of law. Fuck Ethan Klein. How you doing, Doodlebird? I saved that link, but of it, Chaos said different province, but this is the only case I have heard of where someone was found guilty for their online statements, but they also had said it with their whole chest, and Ian didn't. Ian disavowed the statement with his whole chest. I would be far less outraged by this if Ethan was able to stay out of the mud for more than a day. He is always talking about people showing clips, making exaggerated statements. I mean, it's got to come to a point. This won't affect his lawyer, right? This won't affect his lawyer if it's a bad case. If it is found to be frivolous, if it is found to not have any merit to it, it will not affect his lawyer because he's not using his lawyer. But the fact that his lawyer is and would have been so willing to go along with all of these lawsuits, it's like, man, do we have Ethan's court filing yet on Court Listener or whatever it's called? I don't know if Court Listener applies to Canada or not.
Hate and doing hate crimes.
Now that one's a stretch.
And doing hate crimes, defaming me, they may have also violated criminal laws and doing hate crimes, harassment, all this kinds of stuff. So you should be scared if you are one of the people that participate in this, because I will be pursuing civil damages and criminal damages anytime applicable. I will spend and go to any limit to legally and within the scope of the law is allowed, annihilate you.
I mean, there it is. It's not, he doesn't say to recoup the emotional damage that I've suffered. His purpose in doing this is to hurt the people who did these things to him. I know he is framing it as he had hate crimes done to him, he had this or that done to him. I don't know the qualification of the threshold for what is considered a hate crime. But I do know that in the lawsuit, in the subpoena, all that he charged these people with, all that his lawyer rather charged these people with, is contributory copyright infringement. I don't think it was set out or outlined whether or not he was accusing them of hate crimes or defamation. So the fact that he is doing all of this for the purpose of recouping monetary loss, it's a bit of a big statement. It's a bit of a saying something to this effect is big.
And go to any limit to legally and within the scope of the law is allowed, annihilate you for any cost, because you people are evil. You people are disgusting fucking human beings. You thought you could harass. You thought you could.
You literally just could have watched something else, man.
You put the fuck up, Dan. Section 9. If a defendant published an opinion expressed by another person other than an employee or agent of the defendant. Oh, wait, let me process that. If a defendant published an opinion expressed by another person who is not an employee or agent of the defendant that is alleged to be defamatory, a defense of fair comment shall not fail by reason only that the defendant did not hold the opinion. What does this mean in dumbass terms? So is he saying, like, if you're showing something that somebody else said, basically, you can defend yourself, a defense of fair comment shall not fail, so it should be a good defense. You won't lose that lawsuit, I guess. I mean, he literally called himself pedo troll, so how bad could his reputation suffer when someone else calls him that? Not that Ian did. I mean, he didn't. You're right, and I don't know. I mean, this is just in general. This is just my opinion, but he has done more damage to his reputation than anybody else could have. I mean, he has consistently failed to take the right, steps. And it seems PR firms, apparently, by their marketing guys' own statements, won't even work with them. For whatever reason, which is interesting because PR firms tend to be like reputation rehabilitators. Seems like that's the purpose of a PR firm, is to rehabilitate somebody's reputation. You think Ian's defense is going to bring up the pedo troll? Why lawyer got a written stuff in such annoying ways? Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like it's a good question. That would be my next argument if I were Ian. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Somebody's message relevant maybe. Okay. Now moving back to. So I mean, I guess that is kind of what this is saying. If a defendant is proved, that is alleged to be defamatory, the defense of fair comment shall not fail by reason only that the defendant did not hold that opinion. So it's saying that you can still defend yourself for something that somebody else, or shouldn't have to defend yourself for something that somebody else said. But notwithstanding subsection 1, the defense of fair comment is not available to a defendant if it is proved that the defendant acted maliciously in making the publication. That's probably what they're going to try to argue, I assume. Hey, thank you. Oh my God. Thank you for the follow, Lucien Impala and Actual Surge. Thank you guys for the follows. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I could probably do, I'm going to do a Lust section where I do the equivalent legal analysis that Lust does, where I think they're probably, this is going to be their argument, is that he presented the comment maliciously. It says, notwithstanding in subsection 1, the defense of fair comment is not available to a defendant if it is proved that the defendant acted maliciously in making the publication. How do you, I don't know, I don't understand this. What does that even mean? I guess the defamation laws are a lot different in Canada, but it seems kind of ridiculous that, what does maliciously mean? Fair and accurate report published in a newspaper or by broadcasting in public meeting proceedings, Senate, House of Commons, Canada Legislative Meeting Commission, a meeting of municipal council, meta settlement, the publication newspaper broadcasting at the request of a government department. Nothing in this section applies to the publication of seditious, blasphemous, or indecent matter. In the case of publication in the newspaper, by broadcasting, the plaintiff shows that the defendant has been requested to broadcast. Oh, that's not applicable. They differ by province, I think. My God, 549 subscriptions. It's a crazy number, yo. The Dragon VTuber avatar was clearly showing Ian was entirely serious in reporting on it as truth, right? And it's almost seeming like, unfortunately, these defamation laws are very stringent in Canada. I mean, this is a crazy subsection. It says, notwithstanding subsection 1. What does notwithstanding mean? Notwithstanding is a formal word that means in spite of or despite. So despite section 1, the defense of fair comment is not available to a defendant if it is proved that the defendant acted maliciously in making the publication. Almost 550 already. Congrats. Yeah, that's crazy. We just did the 500 followers celebration. This is crazy. You guys are crazy. And now we'll move into, I wonder if we have public comment from anybody of note, any people who have any type of influence. I would like to see how people are responding to this, because that's my next point. What I want to go into is the fact that this is going to be an unpopular lawsuit by all means, and it does not help that he just had that loss in court where people who were agreeing with him at some point are now taking the stands because it's, I guess, embarrassing for them that it was not a good lawsuit, right? Someone posted about you in the subreddit. Oh, Hassan. Wait, Hassan talked about it already? Oh, he did. No way. That was quick. I don't know, man. It seems like a good time to hop off the fence that you've been riding for the past year.
What the fuck is happening? What is this? Ian Jomha, aka iDubbbz, announced he's being sued by Ethan Klein for defamation. Ethan is a monster, and anyone doesn't see how he's destroying speech online will look back at this with disgust. What is this?
Official, I am being sued by Ethan Klein in the courts of Calgary, Alberta for defamation. I do plan on fighting against this.
Bro's opening new fronts like he's Israel? No, literally. What the fuck? I mean, is Ethan Klein the most spiritually Israeli podcaster out there? Actually? He's doing NSEEK. He's just opening up new fronts for no reason. Why Alberta? Probably stronger likelihood of winning a defamation suit as opposed to America, where there's a lot more, there's a lot stronger rules around it.
He's gonna sue you for that. Oh, you moved to Canada. I'm coming for you anyway. Holy fuck, not spiritually. Literally, what do you mean spiritually? Yeah, and also I think it's a better idea for Ethan Klein to sue in Canada. I believe he could have opened a lawsuit in California for defamation, but I think it's a better idea for him to open a lawsuit in Canada, because if he uses Rambar Nissim, or if he is on the books for opening a bunch of lawsuits that are tenuous at best, it looks bad on his history. It looks bad for TEI. I didn't see you linked it. My bad. Thank you.
Ian lives in Edmonton. Did you say America deserves 9/11? You fucking terrorist. I lost my brother in Iraq. You fucking Diddy Piker. What? What the fuck? Man who's been in here for months. Can you do only political discourse and don't include Islamic doctrination? No, I can't. I have to. I'm sorry. I have to keep doing Islamic indoctrination chatter. Sorry. It's time for the daily saying of the Shahada. Sorry about your brother. But
much different statement.
If I were you, I wouldn't be, constantly accusing Muslims of being terrorists. Kind of feels like that mentality is what justified the failed global war on terror, which led to your brother dying. So I feel like you're perpetuating that same exact cycle of hatred that will then cause others to go and die overseas. But at least this time they'll be doing it for a higher purpose, maybe to, preserve the interests of the most moral nation state of all, the nation state of Israel. Em Israel Chai, Em Israel Chai, Em Israel Chai. Have you gotten your daily America Deserve 9/11 yet? No, I haven't.
And our attorneys, I will say that it worries me what it means for the commentary community and especially the Canadian commentary community. But this is about all I can say, at least for now. I'm sorry that the stream is so short. I wish I could give you a lot more grease, but I will resume the regularly scheduled content.
I think it's pretty crazy that if you're like legitimately a mentally disturbed person and you just like lucked in to unfathomable amounts of money, you can just consistently be a demon and just sue people and try to bury them in fucking costly litigation over and over again. And especially if you're capable of reaching an audience that's like constantly demanding and rewarding you for bullying other people through this sort of frivolous litigation, then you can kind of keep it going. I mean, maybe your audience shrinks over time, but you can just like keep it going for as long as you have money. I find it very strange that there is no repercussions against this sort of thing.
That's exactly what I was saying, is that like, how is it possible that no matter what, you are still able to, you don't have to win the lawsuit, you don't have to have a merit to your lawsuit, you can just do it. You can just bury somebody in, and if the other person doesn't have money for a lawyer, if they literally cannot respond to your lawsuit in turn, it goes into default. I mean, there's a chance that it might not get rewarded in the way that the plaintiff wants it to, but it can. There's a possibility, and you're just on the hook for all that money. There is no way out of it. And you see, I mean, with the Reckless Ben situation, we can cover that in a bit, but with the Reckless Ben situation, that is immediately within weeks. What happened is that the court is allowing this company to completely put out a gag order and completely silence Reckless Ben, regardless of whether obviously it doesn't translate completely, but it's I don't know, it's crazy. If you have enough money, like what the fuck is this?
Now he's suing iDubbbz in his wife.
What the fuck is this? You can just bankrupt people with no merit. Exactly. It doesn't even have to get to trial for the person to literally be forced to dump money into it.
He's made an entire career out of talking shit about people, and now he can't stop suing everyone who talks back. I'm sure the courts will love seeing clips of Ethan saying he will never stop harassing them. The sad part is Destiny, omni-liberal sex pest, is the only one who said H3 is likely a pedophile who's molested his own children, so Ethan decides to sue iDubbbz instead. He loves to go after people who he assumes don't have money to fight back. Yeah, that one is actually really weird. Like that, this one is like such a strange case, because like, what's the defamation? Like, iDubbbz didn't do the defamation. A whole ass third party, a separate person did, but you can't fucking go after them because you're afraid. So you're just choosing to go after the person who put the statement on screen. Is that what it is? He's suing Ian for showing this message on stream. Yeah, I don't think that is gonna hold in a court of law. Like, I don't think you can do that. What's the? I don't think that's even. I don't think there's even a. Is there even a precedent for it? Like what could you possibly do in that situation? I mean, if someone else is defaming you and if someone else has defamed me and another person is like using that for commentary purposes, is that defamation? Maybe in Canada. I mean, I don't know how it works in Canada. I mean, but the point here is not to win this case anyway. The point here is to fucking make them suffer.
Yeah, exactly. No merit behind it, and he knows that.
The point here is to make them spend a shit ton of money in defense.
And I don't think it should be ignored. I think it does deserve attention that directly before he announced that he's going after iDubbbz legally is when Ethan was caught using his phone to, look at this snark picture, download the snark picture of Anissa, and everybody was kind of laughing at him for it and being like, what the heck? That's kind of weird. Even his own fans were kind of confused about it. So, I think it is of note that he did that directly following this. I think it does speak, in my opinion, it does speak to it being sort of a revenge, like a get back at Ian and Anissa for something that they didn't do, but that he is mad about anyway.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like this seems like it's an exceptionally silly defamation suit. Like it's not even like I don't know how any judge looks at this and goes, wow, this seems pretty egregious, and we're gonna take this to court. Like imagine going through fucking law school, passing the bar, like maybe becoming a prosecutor, spending your whole career reading, teaching law, maybe becoming a judge, and then you're fucking facing this particular defamation suit. You're like, I've been a judge for 30 years and now I have to sit here and look at this dumb bullshit.
I mean,
they gotta do like a Interpol style full court ban for Ethan Klein. They gotta make it so that it's illegal for him to ever sue anybody.
But like, when does that actually become a thing? Like I'm completely confused as to how this isn't like a bigger issue that somebody wants to put a stop to. I mean, like they're gonna make money off of this regard. Like, how good is it for a court to have ridiculous lawsuits? Is that a good thing? Do they make? Is it better for does the judge get paid more? Like, is this not an annoyance on them? How is it so unchecked, I guess? How is it so easy for somebody to do this so many times? Why aren't there more checks and balances? Ian and his lawyers should show how often Ethan makes disturbing comments about children. I mean, but I think that the thing is that, like, they want to prove, I think the main concern is just proving that Ian didn't make that statement and he wasn't trying to say that was a thing.
They're gonna have his face up in courts all around the world. Like they're gonna be like, do not take any lawsuits from this man. And when people say, oh, his lawyer is like taking him for a ride, like I think he's on the journey together. Like I don't think his West Bank lawyer is the one that's like taking him on a ride. I think his West Bank lawyer is just like silly enough to take whatever fucking case that Ethan wants to pursue. And sure, I'm sure he's being rewarded handsomely for it. But like, I'm fairly certain that Ethan is aware of what he's doing. There's a term for it. It's called vexatious litigator. I know, but it's somewhat difficult to become a vexatious litigator. No,
that's what I heard as well, is that it's not an easy thing to prove. Somebody was talking about
is an individual abuses the judicial system. Like, what are the criteria? The 5 and 7 rule. In many states like California, a person is deemed vexatious if they file at least 5 meritless, self-represented lawsuits in a 7-year period. Oh my God, how many has he done? Well, this is in Alberta, so it doesn't even count.
Exactly. That's why I think he's
done so far. So we just gotta.
It's a good idea for him to do it in Canada because he's not going to have to. It's not going to count towards his vexatious. What sucks is, I mean, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, I guess, but like how a court cannot look at outside, like stuff that isn't presented in discovery or stuff that isn't, I guess, directly relevant to that case. It's a good thing, of course, I guess, to decide on this case. But like, God, I mean, we see the things that he says, such as these type of things, and it's like, yeah,
then you open yourself up to being subpoenaed. Now, what happens to that information, I don't know. The unfortunate thing is that court filings are all public, so if like their private information shows up there, I literally can't help it.
Yeah, and that's just the way it works.
Being like, really, they have to take everything, as it is presented in the case. They can't use outside information to be like, hey, this seems like a bad lawsuit.
Clear.
This seems like a bad guy.
Is October 26, 2026, and I look forward to beating Ethan in court. Ooh. Bro, there's no she's not been through this before, so she doesn't understand what's happening. This is not going to court. This is not going to court. Right? Well, I mean, it wouldn't make a lot of sense to, because if you're going to pay attorneys to do a whole court case, it's going to cost you like $500,000 to $1 million, and the maximum punishment is $150,000.
Like Ian said, numbers don't matter, bro.
I guess that's snark math. I mean, I don't know what's her income levels, but
You know me. You know how I feel about paying lawyers.
God, who likes this? Like, who is this for? Who is this content for? Who is like appreciative of the fact that he's doing this? The only person who would be like, yeah, this is a good idea, is setting a legal precedent that you don't even really need to say something for you to be sued for it. Setting that legal standard. Who is support? Like, who is like, yeah, I love Ethan so much that it doesn't really make sense, but I want it to happen anyway. People who still think it's funny to use the N-word, so they hate iDubbbz, will hype this up, but further ruin his reputation and community. He's not gaining any new followers for this, right? He's not fixing his tarnished reputation. I mean, he said before, my reputation is in the dirt, right? Remember that time you tried to get one of the pedo troll defenders to read the Reddit comments out loud? Yeah. And then, Ethan, yeah, and they didn't want to, and they said, I wouldn't be okay with somebody saying, somebody like that being around my children, but yeah, do I have that on hand actually? That was a good clip. They're up to 262 followers, subscribers on YouTube. Let's go.
All right, what do you want me to say?
Well, I'll just have you. I asked this H3 fan to read out anyone. He said, "Yeah, I'll read out any one of his comments." And so I said, "Okay." So I pulled up some of the comments.
All right, what do you want me to say?
Well, I'll just have you.
Give me the specific thing you want me to say, and I'll say it.
About your nephew.
Which one was this?
It's the one where he says that you should resist the urges regarding your nephew. Do you want to read that?
Oh no, actually, I'm good on that one.
Yeah.
No.
That was never a normal. That was never a normal part of the internet. Like back in this was 15 years ago.
My question to you would be like, do you really think Ethan Klein is like a PDF file?
No, nobody's ever said that. No, nobody's ever said that. But that's the thing. I mean, people probably have said that, but this is my issue. Further proof that people aren't just calling him a pedophile, or at least I'm not. I'm not calling him. I never have, never will call him a pedophile. That's not the point. The deer filter throwback, yo. Say coward. You asked who this content is for, but you saw the fungus that posted after getting banned, calling Avery obese and attacking Hassan. He got pissy with me for asking if he thought the lawsuits were funny and if he was only happy Ethan lost because he was mad. They think Ethan is funny. They hate women and Hassan, and they don't give a fuck about politics in a serious way. Yeah, this is their politics, sort of. Not a pedophile, but his actions. Oh, yeah, but they don't have any actual political compass. But still, it's like you would think that people are like, I think this is a bad idea. Like this, I guess they're not forward thinking. Maybe they're not concerned about the future. They don't think that it'll ever affect them, and it probably won't. But like, if they like content creators in general, is this going to come back to bite Ethan himself? Like, if he sets his legal standard, could he be? It's like they don't think about these things, I guess. Denim spoke on it. Just one more lawsuit, bro. One more, and the reputation won't be dirt. Overzealots. Isaac says Ethan Klein single-handedly funding the construction of his West Bank settler lawyers' illegal outposts.
It worries me what it means for the commentary community, and especially the Canadian commentary.
Oh yeah, he knows. He knows who's watching him. He knows who's watching him. He knows. Yes, and you should be fucking worried. You should be fucking worried. Anybody in this space, okay? Anybody in this fucking space, anybody who makes any sort of content critical of another creator, you should be fucking worried. Ian is just right here. You should be fucking terrified of the precedent that this is going to set if it goes through. You should absolutely, even if you hate Ian, even if you love iDubbbz, you should want this guy to fucking win.
I don't know who this is, to be clear.
It worries me what it means for...
Who is Moreau? I don't know. But like it just seems to be the general opinion. I mean, I'm not going to keep on going on and on about that. But I think it would be interesting to look at if any other lawsuits have failed after Ethan Klein's win. I swear to God, DeFranco. I swear to God, DeFranco better go after this. It is pathetic. The fact that not a single commentary creator who is usually looking out for the little guy and saying, hey, Nintendo did this lawsuit on this little creator. This is wrong. Hey, this anime this anime company went after this guy just posting like some fan content about Dragon Ball Z and got his entire account wiped. That sucks for that guy. That is terrible. These people talk about this stuff. It's not that they don't. Philip DeFranco, Moist Critical. These people talk about this stuff. They absolutely do. But they're silent. They have no interest. Why is that? If he sets the standard, could Ian and Nisa go after him for discussing things he said? YouTube lawsuits. In May 2026, a jury ordered Nashville YouTuber Ryan Upchurch pay $17.5 million. Platform liability, March 2026. Copyright and fair use. A Hallmark ruling in 2017 found that Ethan Klein's reaction videos fell under fair use, setting a major precedent for creators using copyrighted material for their critique. In a counterexample, YouTuber Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad, was sued by Akilah Hughes, ending in Benjamin being awarded attorney's fees after it was found the copyright claims were used for political silencing. So it seems like it's already had, I mean, I hate Sargon of Akkad, but the precedent, or the principle rather, is that you should not be able to silence people for their words on YouTube. Somebody needs to go Afro Man on Ethan. No, I mean, yeah, Charlie and Philip DeFranco do suck. They're the worst fence sitters in fence sitter history. Absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic that they won't talk about this. Oh, did you hear that the GoFundMe for Brian Mansell has been taken down for the bricks and minifigs? $525. Ooh, what? Oh, wait, $525 already? Thank you for the follow, Haunted Raven. Thank you so much for the follow.